Because going pro with Lenovo Pro means you've got the winning formation, one-on-one advice, IT solutions, and customized hardware powered by Intel Core Ultra processors help you stay ahead of the competition. Business goes pro with Lenovo Pro. Sign up for free at lenovo.com/pro.
Lenovo.
This hourly segment brought to you by Unleash Your Wealth with Raj Shah and Rick Borick this Saturday at 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. Learn more at scwealthadvisors.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
The following live program is sponsored by Breakthrough Ideas.
AM 560, The Answer. It's time for breaking news, expert insight, and informed commentary on what's happening in Springfield, Chicago, and beyond. Because an informed citizenry is the only way to protect our republic. It's time for The Real Story with Jeanne Ives and Amy Jacobson.
So what do we do now? Good morning and welcome to The Real Story with Jeanne Ives and Amy Jacobson. Governor Pritzker, Darren Bailey, round two, Jeanne. Early returns were showing Ted Dabrowski coming in with a bit of a lead, and then I looked away, and 10 minutes later, it had all changed.
Well, yeah, I mean, Cook County was the first to report. Other counties were much slower, especially the downstate counties. And Ted won Cook County, he won Lake County, he won DuPage County. And as we said from the very beginning, the path to victory comes through the suburbs. And so he was very close in Kane County as well, another suburban. Will County, he was also close to Darren Bailey in two. So you can't win the suburbs, you can't win in the state of Illinois. And so Darren Bailey has a very, very difficult road ahead of him. In fact, especially with the out-migration that we've seen over the last 4 years, where you've had largely a lot of Republicans leave the state, let's just face it. You had a share of Democrats as well, but the voter turnout was down substantially. In fact, I did the work, I did the math on this, and from what I can tell, with not all the results in, but most of it in, there were 282,730 less Republican voters in this primary than there were in 2022. Just to give you a little bit more of a sense of it, in 2022 in Cook County, that has the most Republican voters, primary votes. These are primary votes. So this is apples to apples comparison, folks. Primary votes, 131,877 in 2022. In 2026, only 85,050 people showed up. So 65% of the 2022 total. DuPage, only 60% of the 2022 total. Lake County, only 50% of the 2022 total. So you had a substantially fewer votes being cast, and those votes, Ted just could not, with the money that he had, reach out to all the voters and let them know who he was and make the contrast. So this doesn't bode well for the general election, because that's what I'm kind of getting to the point of here. When you've lost this many voters in a Republican primary, people not paying attention, I don't know what you're going to get when you're going to have, this is a midterm, again, it's a midterm election. You're going to have lower voter turnout, I believe, in 2026. There won't be a lot of energy because it's kind of, they've kind of sealed the deal on who's going to be elected in this state. Even some of the bigger states, U.S. Senate, we hope that that's competitive with Don Tracy. We'll get to that race in a moment. Yeah. But there's so many other down ballot races that are going to suffer with Darren Bailey at the top. And I don't mind saying that because I've been involved. I was involved in his 2022 race. I was involved in Ted's 2026 race. I myself ran in 2018. I know what it takes. And these numbers are not encouraging.
Well, last night, Kathleen Salvi was with Darren Bailey at the Dirty Nellies in Palatine. They were celebrating. But she said, Jeanne, I can promise you this, that the entire Republican Party of Illinois will unite behind this winning ticket. Here she is.
Starting tonight, Illinois Republicans will unite and go full throttle to elect Darren Bailey as governor and Aaron Del Mar as lieutenant governor of the state of Illinois. For too long, working working families in Illinois have been ignored by the Democrat supermajority.
Are we done
in
listening to
Springfield.
this?
Okay,
I think we're done listening to this.
Well, wait, are we getting behind her? I mean, what are your thoughts after last night's primary results? 312-642-5600, because there's 1,620,000 votes for Ted Dabrowski, and those voters, Jeannie, want to know what to do. Should they sit this one out? Should they vote for Darren Bailey? I mean, there's a lot of animosity going on.
I mean, they can do whatever they feel that they want to do. They can work as hard as they want to. The numbers are the numbers. And last time, and I think this is really important to remind people of, first of all, in 2022, without me putting my finger on Darren Bailey and then talking to Dan and talking to others and saying, let's get behind him, he would have never won the primary. He would not have $50 million with a name ID that he has leveraged into the congressional race and then into this race. And in fact, Dick Uihlein personally gave him, ceded to his own campaign, and I'm not talking about an IE that supported him, that Dan ran. I'm talking to his campaign, $12 million. Where is Darren going to get the money? So people can get behind him if they want to. There's going to be almost no money raised of significant amounts to get Darren's name out again, to take Pritzker to task for everything that he's done. And that's just the reality. But even when Rauner spent millions of dollars to lie about me, like literally saying the biggest political lie in the history of political lies in the state of Illinois, which is saying a lot, because he said that I was Mike Madigan's favorite Republican. That was 180 degrees wrong. But even after that, I still voted for the guy. So will Republicans vote for Darren in the general election? Yes, they most likely will. Will they be energized? Will they be energized? If you don't have the money to energize the base and to let people know the fight that you're taking on, then it's just then the path to victory becomes very, very slim.
312-642-5600. You can call us or text us. But before we get to calls, Jeannie, I want some inside baseball. I want the real story on what it was like. Did Ted call Darren Bailey last night? Because I know you guys had a soiree out in the suburbs. How did that go down?
Yeah, he tried to call Darren when it became obvious that Darren had won, and Darren didn't pick up the phone. He didn't pick up the phone.
So much for unity.
Yeah, so he ended up texting him. I don't know if they have talked subsequent to that, and then and then they went out and he gave his concession speech. He did a nice job. We had a nice little party there, so that's great. Let's take a call here quick. I want to talk to, we have a lot of races that we want to cover and get to, but we're going to take, and if I can get this clicker to work, here we go. We're going to take Beverly Miles. Beverly, welcome to the program. You're on with Jeannie and Amy.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
Good. How are you feeling today, Beverly? Beverly, by the way, Beverly Miles ran against Pritzker in the Democrat primary in 2022. She's reached out to me, and we've become friends, and we've talked occasionally. And so, Beverly, what are you thinking?
Well, I do believe Darren Bailey is going to have an uphill battle in order to beat J.B. Pritzker. But I'm looking at things on the outside in. I think the Republican Party are going to have to put their differences to the side, and we're going to have to really work hard together in order to beat J.B. Pritzker. We cannot allow J.B. Pritzker to have a free ride once again.
So, Beverly, you live on the west side, and Hines beat Kagi in that assessor's race. And so was that a revolt on the property tax side that you saw when West Siders were burning their property tax bills? Is there any indication there that on a policy front we may be able to make differences in this state?
I do. But not only just with Kagi, Maria Pappas, that wasn't just a one man or one office issue. But with that, that's a start.
Okay, great. And how do you feel about other races that you've been watching?
The only race I've watched is the gubernatorial. because I am really hell-bent on ensuring that Governor J.B. Pritzker get out of our politics.
Well, Beverly, we're looking at 12 years of Governor Pritzker. This is his third term, and no Republicans, right-minded Republicans signed up for that. And the only good kind of news that we're getting is that Toni Preckwinkle, who destroyed Brendan Riley, I was surprised it was 69-32, I believe. She's turned 79. Yeah. She turned 79 years old yesterday, and she said that this is her last term. Do you actually believe that?
I don't believe that. She says that every year.
Well, somebody texted in just now, Beverly, Jeannie, Amy, I'm going to hold my nose and vote for Bailey, but I don't think it will matter much. Do you agree with that statement?
I think we have to keep trying. I don't think we can give up. I think Darren Bailey did extremely well, especially here in Cook County. Black voters are ready for change, especially with the immigration crises and how J.B. Pritzker and his cronies, they fought viciously for illegal immigrants to have rights. And for years, they've denied African Americans or black voters basic rights. Mm-hmm. So right now, black voters who have voted Democrat for a very long time, they're ready for change, but they're afraid if they step out there, they're going to feel the repercussions and the retaliation of the Democratic Party. So we have to keep pushing.
Okay, Beverly, you're the perfect.
We have to come up with
You're the perfect person to ask this question, because another race that a lot of folks have been following was the Jesse Jackson Jr. race, and he lost. Mm-hmm. And so my position is that even in corrupt Illinois, they won't elect a politician who has been convicted of corruption. And so what's your take on the fact that Triple J lost?
I'm happy. I'm extremely happy, because we, as the African American community, there are certain families that have a stronghold on our politics. The voters, we want to be able to pick our leaders, but the Jackson family has had a stronghold on politics for a very long time, which has not benefited us. So Jesse losing, I don't dislike the person, but I dislike the politics. So we're very happy that he lost.
Well, it was shocking. I mean, he had so much publicity on a world stage in the past few weeks with his father's passing, but he seemed very sincere in his concession speech last night.
I want to express my gratitude to those who stood with me throughout the course of this campaign. Just no one has stood with me more, gave me the confidence that I could consider returning to public service greater than Congressman Bobby Rush.
So what do you think's next for Jesse Jackson Jr.?
I just think you need to go on vacation and leave our politics alone.
Well, Beverly, I appreciate you coming on. We're going to have to go to break here, but I appreciate you coming on and weighing in on this issue. And I also really appreciate the fact that you think you've got some more optimism than I do on, Darren Bailey maybe being able to actually take on Pritzker in a meaningful way. And so that's good to hear, especially from your community, because we're going to need Chicago and Cook County voters if we're going to defeat J.B. Pritzker. There's no doubt about that.
Definitely. And we really have to put a good team of people together in order to make that happen, because there's a lot of African Americans, business owners, professionals. We're out here, but we need the Republican Party to help us in these initiatives, because we do not want J.B. Pritzker. We want him gone out of our politics completely.
All right. Thanks, Beverly. More of your phone calls coming up, 312-642-5600. But Jeannie, I have the sorest loser of the evening. We'll have that next on AM 560, The Answer.
You're listening to The Real Story with Jeannie Ives and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Why would you take your precious metal collections to some fly-by-night roadshow that rolls into town once a year? The only thing you need to do is follow the road to Fox Valley Coins and show your gold or silver to Marlin and the team. Gold is at an all-time historical high, so don't keep sitting on your coin hoards or old jewelry that you've been saving to sell when the time is right. The time is right now. Prices have never been better on most collector and gold coins. Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is trying to keep up with demand. So they're paying the most ever on not only most gold coins in bars, but also those old coin collections. You might have scarce dates or higher grade coins, so take advantage of the record high market price and the demand now. Whether you're buying or selling, or just want to find out values, trust the team at Fox Valley Coins. Fox Valley Coins is on Route 59, just one light north of I-88 at the Naperville-Warrenville border. Family-owned integrity since 1981.
On Salem News Channel, principled voices are shaping today's conversation. Scott Jennings brings clarity to the toughest debates. Josh Hammer's blistering commentary puts politics and culture on trial. And Alex Marlowe's insight connects us to what matters most. Watch anytime on Samsung TV Plus, Pluto TV, or find us on your screen at snc.tv. 3 new shows, 1 powerful lineup. Salem News Channel, across America.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Most investments today feel like second jobs. Real estate, you're a landlord. Stocks, you're a day trader. Crypto, you're a full-time researcher. You've got a life to live. Your investment should help you live it. That's why more Americans are choosing gold. Noble Gold has helped thousands protect their future with real physical gold. Visit NobleGoldInvestments.com to get your free wealth protection kit. That's NobleGoldInvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
AM 560. The
Answer. Welcome back to The Real Story with Amy Jacobson and Jeannie Ives. It was quite the concession speech over in Evanston with the fight for the 9th. Jan Schakowsky's old seed, Daniel Biss, who Jeannie, I used to call Daniel Bliss. He won by 4,000 votes over Kat, who's 26 years old and is acting like a complete fool. This is the last thing she said before she literally dropped the mic and walked off stage.
I'm sorry that this sucks, but Trump, ICE, free Palestine, and I love you all.
And she went on. I mean, I just feel bad because I thought her and AOC would be best friends if she made it to Congress. But we still have a general election, and, you know, maybe Biss might lose, but it doesn't look like that so far.
Well, let's take a few phone calls here. Yeah. Let's go to Bob in Buffalo Grove real quick. Bob, you've been waiting.
Jeanne and Amy, I don't know if I should say it, but it wasn't a really good morning today when I see all the results. I watched it last night. I switched over. I'm a boxaholic, and about 8:30, I switched over to WGN and saw the results coming in, and it was not good. It looks like Pritzker is going to be the next governor. The turnout, like Jeannie just said, I don't think it's going to be great in November. I'm just wondering, curious of how Don Tracy is going to campaign against Stratton. That's the one I want to see what the turnout is and what the issues are going to be. I see it coming that it's going to be a campaign. No Trump. We want to get rid of all the Trump supporters, and that's going to be the issue. Trump.
Yeah, well, Bob, last night, that's what you said. They want to abolish ICE. It's going to be the same thing she did in the primary that she's going to do in the general.
We will fight living wage, not just the bare minimum.
Yeah, I've had enough of that. But her living wage, Jeannie, she wants to go to Washington, D.C. She wants a $25 minimum wage. And even Raja said, no, maybe we can do $17.25. It's not going to work.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Okay, let's take a couple more callers. Like to hear from you guys. Ron on the South Side.
Good morning, ladies. Well, you know what, Jeannie, I agree with you. I'm not optimistic at all about Darren Bailey. I was so disappointed. The other thing that disappointed me was that after her deplorable actions, that the people still voted for Giuliani. After her, though, now conversely, I was so happy about Jesse Jackson. And Jeannie, when you mentioned him being a convict, but he was running for, I've been on the radio for the last months talking about this. How do you vote for a person running for office that they held when they got convicted? So on that note, I was glad the people in the second congressional district did not vote him back in office. And you ladies have a wonderful day.
Ron, thanks a lot. I love that comment. We're going to go to Randy in Orland Park. And Orland Park, by the way, I got to tell you, good news there. Ken Duffy beat Liz Gorman for that GOP town committeeman race. So that is good news.
And your sheriff in DuPage County won. Noonan.
Yes, yeah. Yep.
So that's a big win,
and he won big time.
I know, he destroyed
2-1. Yes.
Oof.
So Randy in Orland Park.
Jeannie, you just stole my thunder.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ken Duffy. That was the little ray of hope. Even though I don't live in the township, I'm about a block away from that. I'm in the Payless Township. But I do believe I will not be supporting the top of the ticket. My focus will be on the referenda, the down ballot races, all next general election as they are here. Again, I believe that strong grassroots, which has to start in your Republican organizations in the township, are the backbone. That's where you start to take over.
Thank you, Randy. I couldn't agree more. And speaking of which, because we like to follow up on the races that we covered, the Milton Township Highway Department's referendum went down. Yay! People did not vote for a property tax increase. I'm so thrilled.
Well, I really wish I could follow up.
It's all right. I've got a text message, though. Jeannie and Amy, I worked the election in Lockport. 90% of voters had their IDs out when they walked through the door. So that's good.
Yep, that is good.
Yeah, keep these text messages coming.
Let's go. We've got one more chance before we have to go to break. We'll go to Kevin in Austin, Texas.
Oh, thank you for taking my call. Wish I had a little more time. One of your guests who had spoken before said you got to get a good team together, and this is an opportunity to do that. Now, Jeannie, in Texas, they have what are called precinct-level conventions. So people have that, and then after the precinct levels, that's where you can submit, like, different ideas for to help build the plank. And then it goes up to the county-level conventions, and then you have the state conventions. Please, as a 20-year precinct chair, if you could talk about that process. Because if we did this 6 years ago or 4 years ago, whenever COVID first started, there may have been a better grassroots for Ted Dabrowski to win. And I think that's where you can focus, because our party's about principles, not necessarily just personalities. And you got to build up the Army.
Well, Kevin, you raised a good point. Now, I only have 30 seconds left here, but I did want to point out that Ted had a number of state representatives, state senators, elected officials around the state that were all in for Ted. I'm telling you right now, they just didn't work their networks hard enough to get him out. I really think that was part of the problem. It does matter what's happening at your county level and who you're elevating in terms to the voters. And unfortunately, he had a lot of momentum from the people that mattered, or people who were in the know, and it wasn't enough. So we'll be right back.
More Money with leading economist Steve Moore.
I'm excited about America. I think things are going really well. I think we've turned a corner here. I think Biden economics is well behind us now. This is a miracle what's going on here. If anything, it's better than I thought it would be. So many good things happening in the economy. Low inflation, low unemployment rate, consumer confidence up, business confidence up. All of the indicators are pointing north right now.
It's More Money, Saturday at 3 on AM 560. The Answer.
Fox News, I'm Gianna Gelosi. Israeli strikes on Iran take out more regime leaders.
Overnight, Iran's Minister of Intelligence was killed in a precision strike. He is the latest in a series of officials over the past 24 hours that have been taken out in a new wave of strikes against the Islamic Republic. CENTCOM releasing new video of strikes over the weekend. They are going after not only the storage facilities, but also the production lines for drones and ballistic missiles.
It's Fox's Trey Yingst. A confirmation hearing today for President Trump's pick to replace Christine Nome as DHS secretary, but the agency remains unfunded, and there are headaches to the airport as TSA agents go without pay.
Senate Republicans and Democrats are blaming each other for the partial government shutdown that stalled paychecks for TSA agents and led to long security lines at airports around the nation.
That's Fox's Jonathan Seri. America is listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
This afternoon, expect mostly cloudy skies with temperatures reaching a high of 43. It won't be as cold as before, but roads could still be slippery for the morning commute. Tonight will remain mostly cloudy with some rain expected late and temperatures dropping to a low of 33. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File in the Credit Karma app.
Hey Chicagoland, it's Jeff from Jeff Buys Your House. If you recently inherited a property, you're likely navigating a lot right now. Loss, family decisions, and maybe some difficult conversations. And now there's a house to figure out. Here's what we've learned from helping hundreds of families since 2007. Every inherited home situation is different, and we're not here to judge. We're here to help. Our veteran-led team has seen it all. Houses that need major repairs, properties full of a lifetime of belongings, and families that just want a simple solution so they can move forward. Here's what you need to know. You don't need to repair anything or clear anything out. We'll give you a straightforward cash offer with no obligation. And you choose the closing timeline. Simple, respectful, straightforward. If you need guidance on your next steps with an inherited property, we are here for you. Call 630-895-9530. That's 630-895-9530 or jeffbuysyourhouse.com.
Let me ask you something. Does your garage floor look bad? Covered in salt, cracked, or stained from the winter's brutal blast? Well, I've got a fix for you so you can start enjoying your garage this spring. Contact my good friends at Level 10 Coatings. Level 10 brought my garage floor from dirty and gross to showroom, shiny new in just one day. Level 10 Coatings can do the same for you. A quick and easy fix, permanent durable solution. Guaranteed to never chip or peel. Get it done now so you can enjoy your garage this spring and summer. Schedule your free quote today and mention me, Amy, for $500 off. Visit level10coatings.com. That's level, the number 10, coatings.com. Level10coatings.com or call 855-510-2628. Again, that's 855-510-2628. Level 10 Coatings, your premier concrete coating experts. Are you prepared for the Illinois estate tax? If your estate is worth over $4 million, your heirs could face a tax bill of up to 16% when you pass. Financial advisor Scott Tucker and the team at Scott Tucker Solutions can show you ways to potentially reduce or even eliminate that burden. One strategy is to start gifting assets during your lifetime to lower the taxable value of your estate. Another option is setting up irrevocable trusts, which can shield wealth from estate taxes. Charitable donations and life insurance policies can also be smart tools to offset tax liabilities. Call Scott Tucker and the Scott Tucker Solutions team now, 847-474-3888, or go to 560retirement.com. That's 847-474-3888, or go to 560retirement.com. Investment advisory services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Firm may not give tax advice.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Goldilocks, offering 24/7 security solutions for homes and businesses. Call them today at 708-889-5600.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right. That music means it's Watchdog Wednesday. And you and I, Jeannie, were talking before the show, and you said only in Illinois because downstate election results that are shocking. But first, we have, this didn't take long. Governor Pritzker has a new ad out against Darren Bailey. Here it is.
You remember Darren Bailey.
Once Roe versus Wade is overturned and once abortion is made illegal, then we have to turn around. That's not where it stops.
I voted no on Senate Bill 1 today, the bill that's going to raise Illinois minimum wage to $15 an hour.
If somebody were raped or there was a matter of incest in the family, would you allow that woman to have an abortion?
Right now, my answer is no.
Now, he's back and running for governor again, sharing more of his extreme views.
President Trump, I do believe in his tariffs. When these people are railing against President Trump because these tariffs have destroyed agriculture, no, I'm not buying that a bit.
Do you think it'll be time to send the National Guard into Chicago to fix that crime?
President Trump is a smart man. He knows what he does and when he does it. By the end of the first quarter and into the second quarter, his policies are going to begin to show fruit. He is a man of integrity.
Darren Bailey's back, and he's still too extreme for Illinois.
Yeah, that didn't take long at all. And so now we know exactly what their playbook is because we've seen it already. We know it's anti-Trump, anti-ICE, anti-APAC. It's whatever else. And that's going to be the entire narrative.
Well, I got to tell you, at 7:37 last night, of course, Pritzker was at Juliana Stratton's. Ali G was there, all the big dogs. And, they think they're big dogs. And I thought he might have had a seizure because he went, instead of saying, hey, thank you, I'm grateful, I'm about to start, I'm the gubernatorial candidate. He didn't have any challengers in the primary. Instead of being gracious, he got up there and started barking.
The carnival barker in chief.
Yeah, you're the carnival barker.
Oh. Sorry, I meant the commander in thief.
Stand-up comedy.
Says there's no federal money for health care and food assistance for families in need. But he had no trouble finding tens of millions of dollars to send masked troops with assault weapons onto the streets of Illinois to terrorize Americans.
See what he did there, Jeannie? Before he said, but he still had money to send troops lobster and steak. And now he's changed it to, but he still had money to send armed troops on the streets.
Yeah, because I think he heard eviscerated him on Twitter when he put that out. Yeah, he's such a scumbag. We'll see what happens here. But you know what? Again, like the big elections happen, but the small elections happen too. They matter as well. And I was talking with my favorite watchdogs this morning, and they had some tales to tell from Central Illinois. And so they join us now. Kirk and John, thank you so much for being on The Real Story. Where should we start?
Thank you, Jeannie. Yeah, this is Kirk. I appreciate you having us on. It's amazing. I've always referred to Shelby County as a twilight zone. But what we witnessed this election cycle, I think, is beyond comprehension. We have a treasurer that has done an absolute phenomenal job exposing malfeasance, but the division in the county was so against her, they've created an opponent who is a quadriplegic, 74, 75 years old, needs 24/7 care. They got him on the ballot to run against her, and they also had the county clerk declare to be a Republican this cycle. She changed her party because she was a Democrat. Well, they all liked the county clerk locally, so she ran as a Republican, which drew the Democrat votes. And it was like 4,300 Republican tickets or ballots were cast compared to 700 Democrat. And the treasurer, who has done a fabulous job, was outed last night during election in lieu of a quadriplegic. And I feel for the guy. He had an accident in a water park, I believe in Missouri, dove in the water, hit his head against the wall, broke his neck. But his own words, he can't do anything. He can't open a can of pop. He can't pull his pants down to go to the bathroom. These are his words. He can't even load a paper tray of a computer printer. Well,
how are you going to run an office of treasurer?
And this is who they elected.
He's been elected. Yeah, because there's no competition on the Democrat ballot. They all jumped ship, and all the Democrats jumped on the Republican solely for the purpose of outing the treasurer that has been exposing all this malfeasance, which to date nobody's been, held accountable to. I mean, $750,000 of payroll fraud in the sheriff's office, documented in a forensic audit, and not one penny's ever been recovered. Not one person's ever been charged.
And you told me that she's the best treasurer you've ever worked with or seen in the state of Illinois, and they wanted her out because she was exposing other problems.
I think it's twofold. She was exposing it, but she was utilizing us as a mechanism to expose it. Well, she came to us because local reporting wouldn't report it.
Mm-hmm.
So because the watchdogs are here, that was the retaliation. But these people have created a political environment of such hate, they don't even recognize. They just put a person in an office that can't do the job by his own admission.
You just can't make that up.
Well, and it gets, again, Twilight Zone. I'm in Kansas, Illinois. I live in Kansas Township. The village of Kansas had a proposition on the ballot. The proposition was to reduce, their intent was to reduce the number of board members. They currently have 6. But the question was, shall the Board of Trustees of the village of Kansas be reduced from 4 members rather than 6 members? Well, how do you reduce from 4 when you don't have 4? You have 6.
How did that referendum fare?
It failed. But the scary part, there were 70 votes that knocked it down, 70 votes. There were 40 people who voted for it.
Oh, my gosh. How many people live in Kansas, Illinois?
800. We had a turnout of 28% that went to the ballot box.
Isn't that? But don't you think that's pathetic? I mean, what?
But they can't even write a referendum question correctly, and nobody changed it. Didn't you? You said that you raised that issue.
We put the article up just a few minutes ago. Raised the issue with the county clerk. The county clerk said, "Yeah, but that's how they presented it to me, so that's what we published."
Any other crazy races down south of I-80 that you want to tell us about?
John's got a great one for you.
All right, John.
Well, yeah, we had a sheriff's candidate. You might have an audio clip there on that one.
Oh, yeah, let's see. Do we have that audio clip? Talking to my producer.
Yeah, who's the sheriff? What's his name? Tell us about him while we find it.
Richard Wilson. He won the primary in the Republican Party, and
okay, we're having trouble getting that audio clip, John. So go ahead and explain what went on.
I'll read the quote.
Absolutely.
He was asked whether during a debate whether they would help ICE out, and his answer, whether you want to help ICE or not, do whatever you want to do. I'm in favor of helping ICE, but here's his answer: there are easy ways to skirt around with did we help them being taken out of the residence. We can say maybe we didn't. It all depends on what paperwork goes to the state's attorney's office. So that tells me he doesn't want to be honest.
But there's more to the story with this sheriff, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There was a $500,000 settlement and add $225,000 worth of attorney fees with the lawsuit he was involved in when he worked for the city of Paris. That was in 2018, and they did unlawful arrest. They beat up the defendant or the guy that sued him. They beat him up, tased him, battered him, handcuffed him, searched his house, apparently without a warrant, and he won the lawsuit.
And now he's the sheriff with even more power.
Well, it probably will be, yeah. And there's one up right around I-80 that we forgot about. Jackie Trainier, Will County Board.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about that one.
She was just convicted of 2 counts of computer tampering about two weeks ago. They were misdemeanors, so she ran the primary, and she there was vote for 2, and she was the second person, and they elected her, so she'll be on the ballot in November. She goes for another trial for when she ran over that kid on the bicycle and left the scene earlier this year.
So do people, are they just stupid, or do they not read the news or watch TV, or was it even, I do remember hearing that story on local news. Mm-hmm.
I think the problem is there's so many people out there that just post lies all over Facebook and social media that nobody knows what to believe.
Jeepers. Yeah, so you wrote in this story, in 2024, Traynere unlawfully accessed the email account of the opposing party and forwarded one of the emails to another person, then apparently deleted the email she forwarded from the sent folder of the opposing board member so that member would not realize someone accessed her email account.
Correct.
And so she got sentenced for that. Or no, sentencing is scheduled for April 7th of 2026. But she's going to be on the ballot.
Yeah, but she'll just get probation.
But
last fall, April 7th, there's her trial on hit and run, basically, not hit and run, but that's what she did. A child on a bicycle, and she left the scene with the police department. She was charged with something like failure to reduce speed in a crosswalk or something like that.
Well, she's a Democrat. She's a Democrat out of Bolingbrook. That's who she is. And she got elected.
Yeah, and she'll end up, I suspect she'll just get probation on everything, if that.
Yeah, I mean,
and back to Amy's question, are people just stupid? I'm beginning to think a lot of them really are. I mean, Jesse Jackson Jr. was on the ballot. He was a convicted felon, yet he still got, 30% of the vote?
29%, but yeah. Well, I thought after all this national coverage with, free press, because he would not meet with local media and he would not do a debate. So he was really, he kind of pulled a Biden and a Darren Bailey and hid in the basement. But I thought with what happened last week and maybe sympathy from his father that he would win. But yeah, you're right. He still did get almost 30% of the vote.
What are these people thinking?
Yeah. They don't know. They don't know, which is kind of, I guess, why we started Breakthrough Ideas, because I figured that the people don't necessarily like the policies the politicians are putting in place. They just don't know what they don't know. And so we've been working hard on sort of connecting the dots for people, but our reach apparently is not great enough, and it's certainly not statewide because we only have certain resources. But people need to start to plug in on their own and look at this stuff and research. You can't research 7,000 different units of government. Actually, they're not all units of government. Some of them are SSAs and stuff like that are taxing authorities. But you've got thousands of units of government. You've got 20 things on your property tax bill. You can't be an expert on all, so you got to locally do what you can to raise awareness about what's going on. I'm actually shocked that the Milton Township referendum went down. I thought it would pass, but unfortunately people did read it and it didn't.
Well, when you talk about being informed, we need to start from the basic civics in our education classes. I've got adults that don't know the difference between a village and a township, or a park district, or they have no concept of all these units of government, and most of them have no clue what's going on with their tax bill because they have a mortgage. The mortgage company pays it, so they never really even look at the tax bill to understand how many different boards are right there in their backyard. Nobody goes to hold these people accountable at a single meeting.
That's right. Well, we've got a lot of phone callers lined up. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back to take your phone calls. You go ahead and get more phone calls in here, 312-642-5600.
You're listening to AM 560, The Answer.
Don't believe the official narrative? You've got the real story on AM 560, The Answer.
I'm attorney Stephen Leahy. If you're a business owner with unfiled tax returns, tax season is not your friend. This is when the IRS turns up the heat. They match 1099s. They review payroll filings. They compare bank deposits. And when returns are missing, they don't send you a warning. They take action. Penalties stack up fast. Liens become public. Bank levies can drain your account. I see it every year. good business owners who waited too long. Not because they're crooks, but because they were overwhelmed. Let me be clear. Hiding makes it worse. Action makes it fixable. I help business owners get compliant, file what's missing, and negotiate from a position of strength, not fear. Don't wait for the next certified letter. Don't wait for a levy. Go to fightbacknow.com and sign up for my daily email. I'll tell you exactly what to do next, step by step. Or call me right now at 312-664-6649. Act now before the IRS acts first.
Platinum Consulting Services Incorporated seeks a .NET developer in Chicago, Illinois to design, develop, test, and maintain software applications following agile methodologies. Build features using Python, .NET, SQL Server. Create and maintain stored procedures, functions, indexes, views, and tables. Use AWS, CI/CD tools, Jenkins, GitLab, Postman, RESTful APIs. Perform coding, unit integration testing. Collaborate with stakeholders to implement enhancements and support. Use Gyro for task and sprint management. MS in computer science, IT, or related field, or foreign equivalent required. Frequent domestic travel or relocation 3 to 4 times a year or more. 40 hours per week. Wage is $130,707 to $175,000 per year. Send resume to HR Director, Platinum Consulting Services Incorporated, 2425 West Lawrence Avenue, Chicago, Illinois 60625. Equal Opportunity Employer.
AM 560, The Answer.
So we got a lot of text messages. Jeannie and Amy, are there many other surprises? I saw your post about Samantha Steele versus Nicholson. So yes, Liz Nicholson handily beat Steele. I know Jennifer Davis and Mark Rice, between those two, Jennifer Davis won by 4,000 votes. And our girl in DuPage County, Jean Kismerick, DuPage County Clerk, she lost. Even after those alternative polling places, Jeannie, because ICE won't be there. And if ICE was there, she set up a hotline number so you could call, and then she'd give you an alternative polling place to go to. Well, I mean, give me a break.
Yeah, if Republicans want a place to stake out ground and make a stand, it would be definitely winning the DuPage County Clerk race. We've got a great candidate. In Patricia Schiappa, and so I highly recommend that people get involved in that race. So let's take it local. Okay, okay, Brian says he knows who the winner was last time. Brian's in Indiana. Welcome to the program, Brian.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm gonna give you guys, give me 30 seconds. I'm gonna give you guys a reality check. It's gonna go down hard, but it's gonna make you understand what's going on. You know who the real winner of last night's election was? U-Haul. Let me tell you something. And what's happening in Illinois in the last 10 years, people don't care who the governor is. One look at Brandon Johnson in Chicago once he got elected. If you have $5 in your pocket, you're going to Indiana, you're going to Florida. You're not hanging around to see who the next governor or mayor is. I noticed yesterday a lot of seniors vote. Those are the seniors who are on fixed income and who ain't got money to run. And the only thing I want to say, when the last American person with values leave Illinois, take the flag with you, because the guy mentioned about schools. The Communist Party then already took over the universities and schools there. And you see kids marching in 5th grade talking about down with Trump. The socialists already took over your school system there. So if you're walking around with $5 in your pocket, you ain't in Illinois no more.
Hey, Brian, thanks a lot for the information. I appreciate it. I will tell you this, that between June of 2022, which was when the the primary was for governor, into June of 2025, Illinois lost 180,000 residents. If you included 2021 through 2022, it's 321,000. So there's no doubt that the Republican base is eroding here as people leave. That's definitely happening. Certainly Democrats are moving out too. But yeah, that's a factor for sure. I appreciate the call. Thanks a lot. Let's go to John in Bridgeport. He says that Stratton can be beat.
Before that, I just reviewed your numbers there, and it sounds like we should have lost 1 or 2 more congressional seats with your math. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
well, they filled it up with illegals, so that's how they got through that.
Yeah, that was net migration. That was people moving out. It was not people moving in or, illegals coming in.
With that being said, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're on the same page as me, we win. The Republicans win the Hinsdale and LaGrange area. They're pretty much in contention to win the Senate seat against Juliana. Am I wrong with that? The reason I'd be chomping at the bit to go against her. I would say everything from the Crime Act, the Safety Act, to what's going on in the school systems over there, and put the pressure on those two to explain themselves. And she has nothing to run on other than she has a fat governor with the bank account. That's all. There's nothing positive that came out of here.
No, John, you're right, but apparently that's what people want, because that's how she won. She won with the fat checkbook and the F Trump mantra. And so, by the way, Hinsdale in the state legislature is represented by Democrats. Okay? So let's not
correct
be.
me if I'm wrong. Isn't Chewy Garcia's seat, doesn't that go in the LaGrange and Hinsdale area? Didn't they redistrict it for that?
Yeah, yes, it does, as a matter of fact.
And then that's BS. And that's BS. But anyway, with that being said, whoever they throw out there, this guy Tracy seems like he's a gentleman. He could do this if he fights a little fire, but he's got to put it on them, especially in those areas.
I 100% agree.
Hey, Lyons Township High School, how's the crime over there? Hey, Hinsdale, how are your catalytic converters doing under your cars? Pretty good? Because that's the things you got to point with. You got to point this out. And then maybe a nice King Tread video, game over, we win.
Yeah, no, you're right, John. Appreciate the phone call. All right, let's go to Glenn in Orlando. Glenn's got a suggestion for us.
Yeah, I to me, I've always been a believer in bullet points. Tell me your bullet points of the governor and how he's accomplished things. We know he likes the demagogue. We know that Illinois has maybe the second highest gasoline taxes in the country. What's the poverty level in Chicago? I think there's about 17% people in Chicago living at the poverty level. He supported drag shows for minors, unfunded pensions. I can put together a list and get people started. I'd be happy to help. And you got to show this list to everybody to remind them of all of the non-accomplishments that have occurred and how the quality of life has gone down since he's taken office. I mean, don't give up.
All right. Thank you so much. A lot of text messages. Jeannie, are there precinct conventions? If so, how can someone get involved in one?
Well, there's a county convention coming up April 15th, and that's when Republicans will select their leadership for the state central committee. There's 17 state central committeemen that are elected at that convention. Only elected precinct committeemen can participate in that election. And I'm a state central committeeman. I'm not running again. My deputy is, but that's one way that committeemen have some power, is electing who's going to be on the party leadership and hopefully make a change. So there are, but I don't know about otherwise precinct committeemen. Oh my gosh, are we out of time?
I know. How did that happen?
What?
We still have more sound bites to play from reactions.
So sorry. Michael, Kathy, thank you for calling in. We'll try and get to you if you want to call in tomorrow. We'll continue the conversation.
Yes, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for participating. If you're watching online at Breakthrough Ideas YouTube page, we appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. God bless, and God bless America.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000,